All right, well, Rogue Brewery, Newport headquarters is closing permanently. This is if I remember correctly from what they were saying, a 30-year institution of Oregon. Rogue, it was funny because as I was commenting, I was remembering when I went there. When I went not just to the place at Newport, but when I went to the one that was here in Eugene. And the ex-girlfriend that we had a great night drinking the new drinks, out at Brew Pub, You need to go out with the friends on a day trip with girlfriend to make that economics happen. That economics isn't happening because the sexual revolution has come to an end. It's what some people said was going to be its natural end, but they're not from polite society, so nobody cared. They weren't educated enough. That was the whole thing, you see. Everybody knew this would grow into Barbarella and, was it Donovan's Run, I believe, is what that one. You'd just be able to teleport your hose in, and it'd be like some, where the Star Trek future where all alien worlds have hot hoes who dress in bikinis and are glad to make out with Captain T. Kirk. Aliens everywhere loved James T. Kirk. He didn't knock the alien menace out. He was making out with it. Oh yeah. Anyway, so but that fun, sexy, campy culture is gone. You can't do it. The artists die has succeeded. There's all these things that over the last few days I've been trying to kind of put together. All of these things are kind of finally coming to their fruition now. And it was because of this one. Oh my gosh, I looked up her name. I believe it's Pauline Maxwell, I believe is her name. And she's being interviewed by a lot of people. She, I believe, came out of Quillette or possibly out of the I can't believe I'm forgetting, not Ayn Rand Institute, but one of the libertarian cluster, if I remember correctly. And she's really been indicting the way the present, kind of how things have developed presently, because she's seen so many academics now and scholarly, smart people kind of turn on Israel. But it's sort of now this rebellion that's happening within the scholastic and academic classes, the high muckety-mucks of thinking. That, we're now, a lot of these people are like, yeah, just like the right said, the socialists always have to go after the Jews because socialism always will end up at communism. Communism always has to eliminate religion and history. So therefore, these people who they have lived through that kind of concept, they'll have to go. And they always do. That's the way that socialists always treat the Jews. They always do this. And so now people are kind of catching up. They're putting together, this is clearly a pattern. Now they're seeing this is ideologically why they always have to come after us. So this is now the thing that I'm kind of finding also interesting is what she said in this one talk about divorce and researching divorce and realizing this is mostly women destroying their families and simply having no concept of, oh my God, this child is super tiny on their way to school on the bike. It's adorable. But it just reminds me of when I was a kid. Freezing humongous amounts of books on you, pedaling, just frozen. But anyway, you could get there. You'll be okay. But anyway, that this was they basically what she was talking about is that once female academics and researchers saw what she had found about divorce, they got very, very upset about it, with the response of, I am divorced and my kid's fine. So not what the data said. They didn't care about the data. They were like, this insulted them. They said, because my kid's fine and we're a divorced family, this data must be flawed. Because I'm some high academic, high scholastic muckety-muck, who's got degrees in educology and expertology. So therefore, no matter how much data you've collected, because, it offended me. So it must be wrong. And she found that this seemed to be a beginner of more and more things like this, that you would find groups of academics that they just didn't like what the findings were. It insulted them. So the findings must be wrong. The paper isn't worth publishing. The data isn't worth giving a damn about, because it was very offensive what science pointed out there. So now we're far beyond evidence. We're far beyond evidence. COVID shows this is beyond, we are far beyond evidence. The women cannot keep us safe. They don't have the capacity to do it. When Fried Chicken Man can actually say, this is what's most likely going to come from these vaccines based on my fundamental knowledge of what mRNA is, and then the likelihood that this type of vaccine technology could be effective, well, it doesn't seem to make sense, being mRNA doesn't do what they're saying doesn't make sense. Why spiked proteins? Why does that make sense? And they realized, no, really, there started to be something among liberals that they kind of couldn't be wrong. They just kind of can't be. They're educated. They watch PBS and NPR. They're not like those savages who watch Fox News and are libertarians and doubt what women think. You see, all the women know if you wear a mask and you walk and you put, remember, people were making not just masks so that you could reuse them constantly, but they were making little holders for all of the alcohol soap foamy squirt things and selling them on Etsy. Like, people had little holsters for their little squeezy anti-germ juice, thinking that that's what was going to make them not catch the vid. It's not that you had knowledge. It's not that you were using objective science. This just wasn't what people were doing anymore. Viruses can't survive almost even at room temperature if there's real light, real solar energy. So just an average 65 degrees with the sun on it, it's that the sun rays are actually really difficult for a virus to deal with. That's why they require some kind of medium to be in. I'm not some geniusologist or something here. It's just that, this is something that it's I would think people would know now. And which is then that part of me that throws me off, because I'm I'm a brokey. But I knew this. Everything that now, so there's more and more of these little pieces of the puzzle that are coming together, and the negligence of women It's negligence, and it's then also, oh my God, little bulldog tongue out. Oh my gosh. Okay, concentrate. With a sweater on. Jesus, that's adorable. Anyway, this idea of that you now have this issue of, these women who were raising the kid on their own, but they're career moms, so they're seeing their kid fundamentally for dinner. The world had to construct entire jobs, entire hour systems, and alter the labor system fundamentally for this pretty contrived way of thinking that you're actually being a good parent, and you simply can't. It's why aren't you married? And I mean, there's some things where it's like, oh yeah, I mean, you in some way, shape, or form, like your husband died. I mean, like, but there's just a certain point at which where it's like, if in almost any way, shape, or form you volunteered for this, honey, everybody's done with trying to shape society for you. And the problem is men are vanishing. This is a real thing now. I'm really seeing a lot of very interesting ends of the internet all bringing up, without men, there is no market for ... So there's whole parts of industries, whole parts of cities that are dying. Without men, there is no business district. There is no finance district with the financing banking guys. There is no women hanging out looking for the banker bros to fleece them and rinse them. Men can just invest from home. They could do it from their phone with an app. So they don't need to, and then why go into big finance? They found out. We talk to each other. You see, that's been kind of the beautiful thing is men now are talking to one another online, and it's gold. It's gold. It's worth its weight in gold. It's wisdom. And so men are learning, nope, this is just something that it's going to take you about 5 to 10 years, and you're going to figure out, God damn it, why did I put so much time in that? And men's time is platinum. And, platinum wrapped diamonds. Platinum wrapped emeralds. And so it's just I just wanted to put it that way because there's just things happening, just trends that I'm starting to see now with men vanishing, and it's only getting more interesting. What a cold winter it already is. What a cold winter.